I think we are live. Just let me check. सो हेलो 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 एवरीवन फ्रेंड्स, आ गए हम एक न्यू एपिसोड के साथ ऑन स्केलिंग अप योर बिजनेस टू 100 सीआर। दोस्तों, आज मैं आपके साथ ले आया हूँ दो नए धुरंधर और इतने बढ़िया बढ़िया अपने फील्ड्स में बिल्कुल एक मास्टर ब्लास्टर हम इन्हें कह सकते हैं। एंड आज हम आए हैं प्राची के साथ एंड पुलकित के साथ फ्रॉम यूनिआर्चा। और आज हम पता है किस टॉपिक के बारे में बात करेंगे जो ई कॉमर्स ब्रांड्स के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा इश्यूज है। वो क्या है? कैटलॉग। तो आज हम इसी के बारे में बात करेंगे, कैटलॉग ऑप्टिमाइजेशन हैक्स के बारे में बात करेंगे कि व्हाट इज कैटलॉग, कैटलॉग होती क्या है, कैटलॉग को कैसे ऑप्टिमाइज करना है, इसके हैक्स पूछते रहते हैं कई लोग कि हैक्स बताओ यार, कैटलॉग के हैक्स बताओ। क्योंकि कैटलॉग एक ऐसी चीज होती है, अगर आप ई कॉमर्स ब्रांड में हैं तो यू हैव टू मेंटेन इट वेरी वेल। बट इसके बारे में तो हम पूरे टाइम अभी बात करते रहेंगे। बट सबसे पहले वेलकम प्राची, वेलकम पुनीत टू द पॉडकास्ट।
Hi guys.
Thank
Hi
you,
Harshit.
Harshit.
हाँ, हेलो हेलो। सो प्राची, अगर तो आप थोड़ा सा अपने बारे में मेरे को बता सकते हैं कि आपने एजुकेशन कहाँ से ली, फिर आप कैसे आडियोगी तक आए।
Sure. So, after I completed my graduation in commerce from Shaikh Bhagat Singh College, Delhi University, I joined EY as an audit associate. And in fact, the learnings that I had there, that's something that I'm still using right now. So it was a great experience for me. However, I've always had interest in marketing and I wanted to explore that a bit more. That's when I moved to Adyogi, and I'm really glad that I did because the opportunities that I've had here, they've been tremendous. You know, you get to work with so many different brands from so many different industries. So you get to know and understand a lot, not just in marketing terms, but also how the brands and the business operate and what are the roadblocks and the challenges that they face in their daily operations. So yeah, it's been in fact over 2 years now since I've been associated with Adyogi. Has been great.
बहुत बढ़िया है, बहुत बढ़िया। थोड़ा सा पुलकित हम आपके बारे में भी जानना चाहेंगे।
Yeah. So I'm a computer science engineer, and am I audible
हाँ,
properly?
प्रॉपर।
So after graduation, I worked in various fields. I've worked in automobile sector, electronics. I worked with manufacturers in China. Stayed in China. I had a brief stint of I played rugby for the Indian team for about 2 years. And Divya, who's the founder, she launched the brand in 2017, and I joined her in 2018. She was scaling, and we wanted to set up a manufacturing unit. And that's how I came into it. And we started with offline stores. We had 2 offline stores in Bangalore, and we went completely online in 2020. The website was ready right before
So when did the COVID hit, you were ready to go online?
we were ready. So the moment the lockdown got over, we started, and Adyogi was we'd spoken to Adyogi team before the lockdown. I think it started in March. In February is when we spoke to them, and yeah, since then we're here.
Amazing. And talking about the brand name, Unniyarcha, like it's a name very unique. If you can tell us the story about Unniyarcha.
So Unniyarcha was a female warrior. She was a warrior princess from North Kerala, Malabar region, and she is a legend in Kerala. And Divya, being a Malayali, she's always heard about her stories from her grandparents, and she wanted to, because Unniyarcha is a person, she was very beautiful, and she was very well trained in the art of Kalari, right, which is the martial art form, and she used to wear a sword as a belt. So Divya was really inspired by her, and that's how she named the brand Unniyarcha.
क्या बात है। इसी आई थिंक on that note only, you were selling the jewelry kind of stuff. और
Sorry?
I was saying कि आप ज्वेलरीज बेच रहे हैं, आप ज्वेलरी सेल कर रहे हैं, तो एकदम ज्वेलरीज का कैसे उसमें आया, आपके थॉट में कैसे, थॉट प्रोसेस में कैसे आया कि ज्वेलरीज बेचते हैं, मिनिमलिस्ट डिजाइन्स बेचते हैं?
Yeah, so Divya, she's a Columbia University postgrad, and she wanted to start something in design. So she's always had a lure towards jewelry, and that's how she started with that. And I only got in when the manufacturing unit needed to be set up.
Huh.
I have a little experience in manufacturing sector.
Okay, so you have the experience in manufacturing industry, and Divya has an experience of around all around jewelries.
Yeah, design is something that she is really into. So the right mix there.
And actually, I literally want to know about the story of Unniyarcha, from where you were started and from now you are here. I want to know the journey, like what all hurdles was there and what all the stuffs are there.
So I mean, when you start a brand, you
Huh,
have a preconceived notion that okay, ऐसे करना है,
huh,
ऐसे करना है.
huh.
When the till starts moving, you have to adjust according to what and where the audience is. So when we started our offline stores, the
Hmm,
biggest learning curve was that we had two stores.
hmm,
One was in South Bangalore, Koramangala,
hmm,
and the other one was in Phoenix Market City
hmm.
in Whitefield. The demography within the same city was so different that what was selling in Koramangala was not selling in Whitefield. And so when we started the second store, which was Whitefield,
Huh,
within a day we understood that these products are not going to work. Fortunately, we had our factory already up and running.
hmm.
So overnight, we in fact changed about 20% of the inventory inside the store because that was mandate. So starting from there, then COVID hit, so you had to start thinking about how to go ahead. Luckily for us, we were already ready with the website, and the first lockdown when it got over, we were up and running. The inventory was there, and
Hmm.
our manufacturing was pretty much on during the COVID times as well.
Hmm.
And we started shipping out products immediately.
Amazing. So means Unniyarcha has its own manufacturing hub. You are manufacturing all of the jewelries in your factories.
So we do a 60-40%
Okay.
inventory in the sense of ready to the products to be made, and we run a low inventory model,
Hmm.
whereas the jewelry that we design and we make is run on a low inventory model. And we recently launched a new category, a subcategory for minimal designs. For this, we keep our stocks ready.
बहुत बढ़िया. So I think we can move to our topic of our today, like what are the catalog optimization hacks? And I think Prachi, do we have the PPT ready? We can show that to our audience. Yes, I think we have the PPT ready. So सबसे पहला जो क्वेश्चन आता है, प्राची, if you can answer that, what is catalog? मेरे को यही बताओ आप कि कैटलॉग पहले क्या होता है और कैटलॉग इंपॉर्टेंट कैसे होता है ब्रांड के लिए और कैसे बिजनेस को इफेक्ट करता है. आई नो मैंने बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस एक साथ पूछ लिए.
So Harshit, catalog is essentially the core of any business. The catalog is why we're in the business. It's the fundamental of any business. That's the offering that we have for our consumers. So in that sense, it's what's driving the business and is the center of a business. In terms of why it is important, and it's as Pulkit mentioned, right, that it does impact where you are situated, what's the mix, what are the offerings that you have. So that's essentially that. For any business to really operate successfully, it's very important that they have an understanding of what from their catalog is working. Industry to industry, it will depend what sort of catalog size you have. So let's say just for us, Unniyarcha, we do have a extensive catalog size. Similar other trends that we've seen in apparel, fashion mostly. Uh, uh, but let's say if a brand is into health and wellness or personal hygiene products, the catalog size might be slightly on the lower end. But the idea is to kind of really understand the catalog that you have, the offerings that you have, and you should be able to kind of identify which are the categories of the products which really work for you. That's important because especially when it comes to pushing the products and going towards the marketing side of it, we might not be able to push the entire catalog in the same way. We have to understand what are the hero products and categories we have and have a focus there so that it can actually give us the most efficiency that we can get out from it. Apart from that, understanding the inventory levels so that we don't face the issues of, let's say, out of stock products, running low inventories, because we wouldn't want that we're getting orders, but we're not able to serve them just because we're not getting the inventory. A conversion rate should not take a hit because of it. That a good understanding of what sort of average discounting works for us, that's also very, very important, because as dynamic and as big the e-commerce space is getting, the market is maturing. People do expect discounts. So in that sense, what sort of discounting strategies work for us, our business, the brand that we want to build, all of that understanding is very, very crucial. And basically, that's what drives our business.
Exactly. And if we talk about, if you can tell me how a perfect catalog or how a good catalog looks like. So how should we segregate our catalog?
So the definition of a perfect or a good catalog that really suits a business will depend brand to brand. Let's say, talking about us, right? We have great variety. That's what we spoke about. As Pulkit mentioned, we recently launched the minimal collection. So having that segregation done, because even if you go to the website, it's very, very clearly visible that minimalistic design is something that has a separate tab to it. The traditional, the core designs of the brand, they have subcategories. They are very well structured on the website. So having that segregation, understanding yourself that, okay, this is because, let's say, even for an apparel brand, shirts might do great for them, trousers might not do well for them. So having that understanding and that segregation, that what's my conversion rate for different categories, different products, that's important. And of course, as a general rule, in most of the industries, the more variety that we can offer, we can expect better conversion rates from there.
And uh, how will it affect our business? If we don't have a good catalog, and if we don't have a good looking catalog, or not a perfectly segregated catalog, how will it going to affect our business in long term?
Specifically for e-commerce business, our website is essentially the store that we have, and our catalog is essentially the products that we've displayed. So if we're not able to lure the audience that we're bringing to the website with our products, that's severely going to impact the business, because you can have the best of creators, you can have best of strategies in place, but if your website is not able to kind of work in tandem to that, if the website is not able to kind of really make the prospective consumer want to stay on the website, give them the clear visibility, give them the ease to navigate on the website, that, okay, this is the section that I'm looking for. If I want to search for earrings, then this is the section that I go for. I have filters. If this is the price range that I'm looking for, then this is what I need to kind of go for. So just having those segregations work in your catalog and giving your website the mechanics to operate and fully utilize that catalog will definitely have a positive impact on our website. That's something that we see every day is substantiated by data. The better the collection, the better the website flow, we see better conversion rates.
And Pulkit, if I want to know how many SKUs do we have, and how we are maintaining our catalog. I know because in jewelry designs we have a lot of SKUs.
We are having around 800 to 1000 SKUs right now. And again, this is 60 to 40, and then various variants on SKUs as well. So some products might have 3 to 4 variants with color differentiation or size differentiation, depending on the design. Then, as I told you, we run a low inventory model. So our traditional jewelry, so what we do is we keep the products in a ready state in our factory, but they're not finished completely.
Okay.
And as and when the order comes, it gets finished accordingly. Whereas the 40% is something that we just started with our minimal designs. For this, we identify products or the trends which are working in the market and stock up with those items. Right, and then we do a constant inventory check according to ABC inventories, what is selling most and what inventory is contributing the least amount of revenue. And then we strategize and plan which one to remove and which not to remove. That's how inventory is figured out.
And actually, by getting this much huge numbers of SKUs, how you're going to deal with these number of SKUs or maintaining these kind of stocks? आई एम गेटिंग अ सेंस कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लमेटिक रहता होगा इफ़ यू हैव रेडीमेड स्टॉक लाइक यू टोल्ड आपकी फैक्ट्रीज में स्टॉक 50% रेडी है एंड जब भी ऑर्डर आता है रेडी होता है,
जी।
बट कुछ ना कुछ आई थिंक प्रॉब्लम्स अगर आ गए तो कैसे उस चीज़ को आप मेंटेन करते हैं, हैंडल करते हैं? क्योंकि आई थिंक वो सबसे बड़ा एक चीज़ है जिसको अगर क्रैक किसी भी बिजनेस ने कर लिया तो दे कैन गो ऑन अ बैंग ऑन सिचुएशंस.
I think the first and foremost important thing is to have a good inventory management tool with you. An application which helps you, for example, we use Uniware, and all the inventory which comes in is entered there, and through Uniware only the inventory is maintained on our website, right? So you try to minimize that uh, mismatch of inventory from physical to online. Whereas the orders which we make on our own, उसमें तो ज़्यादा issue नहीं होता है because we have total control over it. But for minimal, we try to have a constant check on it, and yeah. And for example, for best-selling models, we do monthly and quarterly analysis of the products which are selling the most, and we try to maintain the inventory for those products. For example, we make a threshold for a particular SKU that in the last 6 months we sell about, say, for example, 10 units of this SKU. So at any given point of time, we try to keep 10 per month for that particular SKU in-house ready.
बहुत बढ़िया. लाइक इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रेटजी विच यू हैव मेंशन्ड कि ऐसे स्टॉक को मैनेजमेंट करना इज ऑल्सो अनदर टास्क विच अ कंपनी शुड नो. अदरवाइज कई लोग क्या होते हैं, इन्वेंट्री में ही फंस के रह जाते हैं. ऑर्डर आया, ऑर्डर को फुलफिल नहीं कर पाए, ब्रांड ब्रांड वैल्यू कम हुई, ऑर्डर गलत भेज दिया. मैंने देखा है कई बार होता है, ऑर्डर आया कुछ, पहुंच गया कुछ. ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा इशू होता है. एंड पुलकित, हाउ यू आर डीलिंग विद द लोएस्ट सेलिंग एसकेयूज?
So again, we do ABC analysis. If you're on Shopify or other platforms, you can go the report. आपको पता चल जाएगा कि कौन सा inventory आपका maximum inventory is contributing to the least amount of revenue. तो आपके पास अगर उसका physical inventory है, in our case, because we have both, so if we have a physical inventory of those products, we try to move them as soon as possible. Also, there are a lot of times, I mean, we really believe that there is nothing like a bad design. Because we've seen it so many times that the same product was not working with a particular asset. Uska imagery change kar diya, creatives change kar diye, then it suddenly starts moving. Prachi keeps on guiding us on that. But ye karo, but we try to play around and try to move the C grade inventory. Eventually, the point is that आपके पास dead stock रहेगा, it's only going to hurt your business.
Absolutely.
And that's why we try to go towards a low inventory model. कि dead stock थोड़ा
कम
harm ना.
नहीं, बहुत बढ़िया. प्राची, आई थिंक वी कैन मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड बिकॉज बहुत सारे मेरे पास आज क्वेश्चंस हैं. एंड थोड़ा सा मेरे को आप प्राची बताओ कि इतने सादा वाइड रेंज ऑफ वैरायटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स यूनिआर्चा ने लॉन्च करे, तो कैसे कैसे उसके पीछे स्ट्रैटेजी रही?
So Harshit, like we discussed, it's actually a great thing for us कि जितने ज़्यादा products होते हैं, जितने ज़्यादा categories होती है, we're able to leverage that into our strategies. However, when we have such wide range, it also becomes essential that we identify which is the range that we really want to push. I remember when we were scaling up, tourings was actually the category which contributed to maximum of our revenue. However, it had a lower AOV. It was usually it's the average selling price of our touring category is 1,500. So it's great in terms that it's selling, but we also wanted to push our other categories. So categories like earrings and necklaces, which had earrings is the category where we have 300 plus SKUs, or necklaces also we have 200 plus. So that's a great inventory to work with. And a major plus thing here is that the average order value is much higher. It's 3,500 plus usually for these categories. So it makes sense because the cost of acquisition that we're facing, when we are able to convert for categories which are higher EOV products, the ROAS that we get out of it, the efficiencies that we're able to kind of get out of it, and the direct impact it has on our top line, it's something that you do see a stark difference between that and a lower AOP product. So that was the idea behind the strategy that we did take for Unniyarcha, is that although we did not want to reduce the sale that's of a category which is already performing well, but we wanted to kind of give it more push to the categories which we feel did have the potential to really do the numbers that we wanted to do and give us the push that we wanted. So that's what we did. I think Pulkit and Divya have been great in providing the creatives. They're very, very proactive, and they're able to kind of identify that even from, as I said, that earrings is essentially 300 and plus SKUs. They through their inventory measure, they're able to kind of have that analysis done correctly and give us creatives that are beautiful, that are frequently updated. That helps us in maintaining the CTR percentage and engagement. We often, when we have events like Women's Day coming, Valentine's Day coming, we plan for discounts and sales for that to kind of get us that extra push. And slowly and steadily, we saw in the last 2-3 months, earrings and necklaces have actually are in the top. They're actually the best performing categories for us now. So that really helps us in driving that number.
बहुत बढ़िया. एंड पुलकित, मैंने एक चीज देखी है कि जो भी मतलब अगर हम देखें फैशन में, कभी कभार तो होता है बहुत पुराने टाइम का फैशन आज चल गया, और कभी कभार होता है कि हम सोच रहे हैं कि यार अभी बिल्कुल ये नया ट्रेंड है, नया स्टाइल है, और कभी कभार वो भी नहीं चलता. आपने भी कोई ऐसा देखा है क्या? ऐसा कोई आपने ट्रेंड देखा होगा, या इसके पीछे कोई स्टोरी होगी?
हाँ, तो बिल्कुल ऐसा रहता है. I'll give you a couple of examples. As Prachi mentioned, toe rings was something that we are really good at. That's from a learning that we had in the stores. That toe ring is something that is very traditional and is a mass selling product. Toe rings and anklets, and basically it becomes like a bread butter sort of a product. तो वो तो चलाना ही चलाना है, but side में आपका, and then a lot of factors come in. For example, a lot of our earrings are a lot of South Indian designs because our maximum sale comes from South India. So Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, and then Delhi is our highest earning cities. तो उसके हिसाब से आप डिजाइन्स बनाते हैं. And besides that, we keep on launching new collections every 3 to 4 months. So, for example, Diwali, we launched a collection called Kuber's collection, which was we made designs out of pure silver coins. And we'll be launching another collection next week. Sorry, not next month. On Monday, we'll be launching a new collection, Mangalsutra edit. So, Mangalsutra is something that quite trending right now. So, yeah.
शादियों का मौसम है और मंगलसूत्र की बात हो रही है.
शादियां खत्म हो रही हैं and new brides are looking for new jewelry. Some of the celebrities have really promoted it as well. So, yeah, you have to see what is working. So we do a pilot run for every collection. So we started with few designs. Right now, Mangalsuts are doing pretty well, and we're ready with the collection by Monday and will be launched.
अरे क्या बात है, बहुत बढ़िया. एंड आई थिंक इसी के साथ नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं, क्योंकि ना टाइम का थोड़ा सा कंस्ट्रेंट है, हम बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि बात तो होती रहेंगी, बातों में तो कुछ नहीं है. बात तो कितनी ही कर सकते हैं. बट यस, प्राची, थोड़ा सा मेरे को इसके बारे में बताओ, क्योंकि बहुत एक इम्पॉर्टेंट आई थिंक ये क्वेश्चन है आज के लिए हमारे पास. इतने बड़े कैटलॉग डाइवर्सिफिकेशन के साथ भी हम ऑन अ मंथली बेसिस 56% का रेवेन्यू जंप देख रहे हैं. कैसे? उसके पीछे क्या स्ट्रेटेजाइजेशन थी, उसके पीछे क्या स्टोरी है? बिकॉज आई थिंक जितने भी हमारे साथ आज ऑडियंस देख रही है उनको यही देखना है कि 56% का जंप या एक रेवेन्यू में जंप कैसे आ रहा है. हर किसी को चाहिए एक्चुअली में.
So this has a lot to do with the discussion that we just had about the wide categories that we have. Pulkit mentioned about the Kuber collection. Similarly, we have Lotus collection, Mahabharat collection. So that's all the traditional side of the designing that we have. So that's there. But the idea, if you look at the catalog, especially since we're talking about Unniyarcha, in terms of both pricing and the styles that we have, there's actually genuinely, literally, there's something for everyone. The minimalistic collection that we discussed about, that's something that's everyday wear. The traditional jewelry is more occasion wear. So that's the diversification that we have, right? And similarly, in terms of pricing, also we have products that are somewhere below 1,500 rupees, and then we have products which are as they're upwards of 25,000 as well. So that's the sort of diversification and the variety that we have in the catalog. But considering the objectives that we have, the idea would always be to kind of push the categories and the price products which are slightly higher, because that justifies the cost of acquisition that we're getting. Secondly, it also allows us to kind of target different audiences, right? Because when you have such wide variety that you're serving people for their everyday needs, you're serving people for their occasion wear needs, the cross selling is great, right? You're able to kind of someone who's very loyal to the brand. आप उनको बहुत अच्छे से क्रॉस सेल करके you can also promote the new collection that we have, some engaged audiences. So whenever we have a new collection, the idea is always to kind of a easy breakthrough would be an already engaged audience. So that's something that we do kind of look at to kind of utilize and capitalize on that audience. So basically the idea here is to kind of again look at the price points, look at the categories that are working well for us, and try and push, of course, using Facebook and Google's bidding strategy. See if, let's say, I want to push a category which is slightly on the lower price point, what sort of filters I want to keep in terms of the strategy and the campaign structure that we're doing. So that in tandem with Facebook and Google strategy pointers, that really helps us to kind of reach out to a far wider audience. It allows us to cross sell, and it allows us to really play with the catalog and try different permutations and combinations to see. In fact, it allows us to change as well. Like we just discussed, कि शादी का season खत्म हो गया है. So probably we might want to kind of give our minimalistic jewelry a good push. In fact, a very, very big factor in the drum that we saw was the minimalistic side, because we had great orders from that collection as well.
बिल्कुल बहुत बढ़िया। और आपने एक बात करी टारगेटिंग ऑफ द ऑडियंस, आई थिंक आप एक को बताओ टारगेटिंग ऑफ द ऑडियंस इसमें कैसे चलेगा, कि सिर्फ वुमेन्स ही खरीद रहे हैं या मेंस भी ऐसे हैं जो अपनी वाइफ्स के लिए, अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड्स के लिए खरीद रहे हैं सामान, मेन पे भी टारगेटिंग वर्क कर रहा है?
Great observation, Harsh. In fact, we did run a pilot campaign around Valentine's Day for the minimalistic collection, and we did see that even men, we were able to kind of get conversions from that campaign as well. So absolutely, again, it kind of opens up doors and opportunities for you to kind of go ahead and target that audience. So definitely, these occasion and events, a great point for us to utilize that segment also, that we probably would not be able to reach out in our BAO days.
मतलब वो स्टीरियोटाइप खत्म हो गया कि अगर मंगलसूत्र है तो लड़कियां ही खरीदेंगे,
बिल्कुल,
लड़के भी खरीद रहे हैं सबके लिए।
Yes.
नहीं, सबके लिए तो नहीं खरीद रहे, अपनी वाइफ के लिए खरीद रहे। बट यस, मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट, चैलेंजेस काफी सारे फेस हुए होंगे पुलकित आपको 100% चैलेंजेस, लिस्टिंग के वक्त काफी सारे चैलेंजेस फेस हुए होंगे, मार्केट प्लेस पे जब आप रन कर रहे होंगे वहां पे आपको काफी सारे चैलेंजेस फेस हुए होंगे, कॉम्पिटिटर ब्रांड्स होंगे, आपको उनके साथ compete करना है, तो आपने वो सारी चीजें चैलेंजेस आपने कैसे कैसे फेस करे, और मेरे को वो चैलेंजेस की थोड़ी कहानियां बताइए ना।
So are you talking marketplace wise or our own website wise?
हाँ, we can take like both, majorly on marketplace wise.
अच्छा, so marketplace is a different ball game altogether. A customer is he or she can see other brands as well on the marketplace, right? There's price competition, and then you have a commission that you have to pay, and you have to run ads for those marketplaces as well. So challenges तो ये सारे रहते ही रहते हैं. So yeah, I mean initial hiccups are there, but once you get to know what product to put at what price point to put, because what works on my own website on our own platform does not work on Amazon or Myntra or Jaipur. You have to find what, and they also don't work simultaneously. What sells on Amazon won't work on some other marketplace. So you have to identify what works for what particular marketplace and build your strategy around that. And key points to almost same ही रहता है for once the customer is on your listing, you have to keep the customer on your listing and not wander off somewhere else.
पुलकित, आपका उन ब्रांड्स के लिए क्या सजेशन रहेगा जो काफी कम SKUs पे वर्क करते हैं, जो फर्स्ट सपोज किसी के पास सिर्फ 10 या 15 SKUs हैं, आपका उनके लिए क्या सजेशन रहेगा? क्या उन्हें उन 10-15 एसक्यूज पे वर्क करना चाहिए या उन्हें वो एसक्यूज बढ़ानी चाहिए? कैसे उन्हें वर्क करना चाहिए?
Again, I mean, as Prachi said, it's industry to industry. For a fashion brand, also I've seen brands doing well with very low number of SKUs. तो वो डिपेंड करता है कि आप बहुत नीश प्रोडक्ट में जा रहे हैं कि आपका मास सेलिंग है और क्या चैलेंजेस आपको अंदर आ रहे हैं. बट इफ यू आर हैविंग अ लो SKU model, it's best to keep a good inventory so that you don't miss out on sales and you don't face any challenges in basically order processing.
एब्सोल्युटली. एंड
And
आपको कोई लॉजिस्टिक के प्रॉब्लम्स भी रहे क्या आज तक, जब आपने अपनी पर्सनल वेबसाइट से सेल करा?
so we work with multiple logistic partners. There is nothing good or bad in it. So we have a pretty decent RTO rate. Our RTO is around 5 to 7%, which is quite low as far as we've heard the industry. We do a regressive COD calling. So irrespective of they confirm on WhatsApp or not, we send a call to the customer that you need the product or not. Filter out all the bad orders and logistically. Otherwise, there are multiple tools out there, multiple partners right now. Almost entire inch of India is coverable right now. Across. And you will face issues with non-delivery and some issues or the other, but it's not a challenge. Logistic management is probably a challenging, but to make your product reach the customer is not an issue. Again, with the management, you have to be on your toes with the NDR. If the customer is not accepting it, you don't want the product to be in their warehouse. If the product is not getting delivered, it should not be in the logistic team's warehouse for a long time. So you have to monitor. There are tools out there which everyone can use right now. Figure it out.
And you told 5 to 7% का RTO. I think it is a very good number of RTO because अगर हम नॉर्मल ऑन एन एवरेज भी RTOs लें तो 30% का तो RTO मैंने सुना है कि बहुत नॉर्मल है RTO. एंड 5 to 7% मेंटेनिंग दैट नंबर ऑफ RTOs इज लाइक अमेजिंग. वो ही अपने आप में एक सक्सेस है मैं कहना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि डिलीवरी पार्टनर्स से RTOs बहुत ज्यादा आते हैं. वो अपने में एक अलग टॉपिक है.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is something we've always kept on working on it. In fact, this quarter was pretty bad. We were under 5 last quarter. This quarter wasn't pretty good for us, but we also scaled thanks to Prachi.
Oh, amazing. So moving on to the next, प्राची मेरे को इसके ऊपर बताओ कि ब्रांड्स को क्या क्या चीजें अवॉइड करनी चाहिए या ब्रांड्स कौन कौन सी बड़ी गलतियां कर रहे हैं जो आज उन्हें पता चल जानी चाहिए और वो उसे अवॉइड करके वो भी अपना जो ब्रांड है वो एक अपना स्केलेबल मॉडल में कन्वर्ट कर सके.
Correct. So Harshit, let's discuss about it from the website point of view. One of the things that we've usually seen, and this is a very fundamental check, but a lot of brands, they do miss out on it, is having out of stock products listed on the website. It's Facebook, Google, they're not inexpensive. You have to pay a good amount to get that customer, prospective customer, in fact, on the website. So absolutely, please make sure that the products that you're then showing it to them, they're not out of stock. On category pages, the top few products that are listed, they should be in stock. When you're landing someone directly on the product page, if that product specifically should be in stock. And in fact, even in the recommended product list, right? Because जब हम किसी को recommended products दिखा रहे हैं, that essentially is that what it bases on the algorithm that what someone is already searching for, products that they'll have interest in. And we have a very, very finite real estate there, right? We can probably just show 5 to 6 products. So it absolutely is crucial that we do not put any out of stock product there. Hampers the conversion rate. So that's something that absolutely should be avoided. Secondly, the images. We've seen websites where the price, all of that is a separate thing, but as we discussed, right, your online store is basically your shop, right? There's not a salesperson who can actually do that sales pitch for you. The customer cannot actually touch and see the product and
Yes.
see what sort of quality there is, right? So if you look at these images, they actually tell you how the design, the quality, the colors are, right? And when,
Absolutely.
especially when you're actually buying these products and you're buying it for the first time, and you have just gotten familiar with the brand, it's very, very important that you grab their attention, and the product should be able to convey the quality that we have. The description should tell us what we have. In fact, one of the things that you'll see on the website for Unniyarcha also, that the jewelry brand, but the fitting, the size guide, all of that is there for almost every product, which is very, very important, right? I don't know if it's how big it'll be when it actually comes, right? Uh, s- uh, s- that's something similar that apparel brand should definitely follow. So sizing, everything, basically whatever someone would need on your website should absolutely be there. And yeah, so I think these are the things that in terms of cataloging, since we were discussing about categories,
Hmm.
your website should very clearly tell someone what sort of categories are we offering. Because specifically for Facebook, we're creating that intent. So if someone's coming on Facebook from Facebook to your website, they should be able to look at the website and understand what all is it that you're offering. You have that customer for just couple of seconds. So if they have to spend time navigating the website and trying to find what they're looking for, they'll drop off most probably. So it's very important that the categorization should be there. Whatever your top selling products, new arrivals are there, the website tags and tabs should be able to convey that very, very clearly. So I think these are some very fundamental but very crucial things to keep in mind.
तो अगर इसे मैं सम अप करना चाहूँ, मतलब एक बहुत आई से इन देसी भाषा, कि अगर हम किसी भी रेस्टोरेंट पे जाते हैं, सबसे पहले तो हम मेन्यू देख के डर जाते हैं, अपना सामान ढूंढते हैं कहाँ पे है। फिर
Right.
कुछ भी सामान आता है तो पहले हम उसे देखते हैं, अगर अच्छा लगा देखने में तो हम उसे खाते हैं।
Hmm.
तो एक्चुअली में कैटलॉग के साथ भी वही होना चाहिए। सबसे पहले तो वेबसाइट पे क्लियरली मेंशन्ड हो, जो एक्चुअली में इंसान को चाहिए वो बाहर दिखे उसके बाद जब वो देखे, जब वो प्रोडक्ट को देखे, जब वो इमेज को देखे, तो इमेज शुड बी अपीलिंग, कि उसे लगे कि हाँ यार ये प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है, इसकी क्वालिटी अच्छी है, तभी वो खरीदेगा। इट्स सेम लाइक वर्किंग इन अ रेस्टोरेंट और गोइंग इन अ रेस्टोरेंट एंड हैविंग समथिंग। जितनी
Exactly.
अच्छी हमारी प्रेजेंटेशन है उतना हम उसका ज्यादा प्राइस ले सकते हैं।
Right.
हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया। इसी के साथ आई थिंक हम नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे चलते हैं। यस, आई थिंक हमने इसके बारे में बात कर ली है कि इन्वेंट्री चेक की प्रॉब्लम्स को हम कैसे टैकल करें। या पुलकित, अगर आप कुछ और इसमें ऐड अप करना चाहें।
Pretty much वही है. You have to be on your toes with the inventory, invest in tools which are inventory management savvy, and for example, I'll give you our example. There was a long time back only we decided we want to run a low inventory model, because still we manufacture silver jewelry, or keeping same designs, a lot of stock is quite heavy on the pocket, right? So we decided we'll run a low inventory model, but the inventory is semi-ready. Basically, we make it ready at a point that if we don't have to use it, we can melt the silver and use it somewhere else, and our costing is not too high for that, right? So that worked really well for us. We didn't have to keep a lot of inventory of designs. Besides that, whatever designs, for example, the minimal collection that we just launched, you have to be very, very particular about the quality check when the stock comes in, and after quality check, you have to maintain the inventory at all times. If you're selling in different marketplaces, either segregate it or invest in a tool which helps you manage the inventory in all the marketplaces at one platform.
फ्रेंड्स, बार बार यहाँ पे देखो एक बात बोली जा रही है, अगर आपके पास SKU ज्यादा है तो आपको कोई ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर लो या किसी ऐसे इंसान की हेल्प लो जो आपको इन्वेंट्री मैनेज करने में हेल्प करे, वरना विद लॉट ऑफ नंबर ऑफ SKUs यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू मेंटेन दैट नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स, और कभी ना कभी आपको प्रॉब्लम आएगी। तो आपको कोई ना कोई सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करना चाहिए जिससे आपका वो इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट की हेल्प मिल जाए। यस, आई थिंक वी कैन मूव टू द नेक्स्ट। एंड प्राची, अगर इस पे आप थोड़ा सा मेरे को बताना चाहो कि कोई ऐसी मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटजी पर्टिकुलर जिसने आपको काफी ज्यादा हेल्प करा हो ऑप्टिमाइज करने में कैटलॉग।
So Harsha, first things first, like we discussed the wide variety of the categories that we have. Try to understand which really works for you. If let's say we have 10 categories, might not be wise to try and push all those together. Probably identify the top 2 or 3 hero categories for you. Try and set campaigns that are for dedicated towards those categories. When we do that, we're able to kind of really understand where the gap for that category in our marketing funnel is coming, and we're able to kind of take corrective actions. As compared to, let's say, if we have an umbrella campaign where we're just pushing all the categories that we have and doing a trial and error method, we won't really be able to understand what exactly is not working for which category. Because let's like we discussed the huge diversification that we have in our catalog. Something that's if a metric that's not going correctly for my minimalistic collection, it's not necessary that it's not going right for my traditional collection also. So you'll have to understand that, especially when the price differences come. So taking the help of your Facebook and Google bidding strategies here really helps. Try and see what sort of category you're pushing. If it's a low AOV, try and have some cost caps there to kind of manage the cost per acquisition that we're seeing here. So that's one. And specifically, since we're talking from the catalog point of view, in fact, there are a lot of so from the get-go, one thing that we do is that at least in the catalog link ads, let's not have very low UV products, especially when the catalog is as huge as 800 to 1000 SKUs, and you do have that liberty to kind of exclude some products from your catalog. Of course, if let's say the product count is limited and the industry is health and wellness or personal hygiene, the principles there are different, right? It's based on repeat purchasers. So that's a different, we have to take a different strategy there and see what sort of repeat conversions we're getting. But when we have a great catalog size, we can afford to not market some product. So that, in fact, that's the automations that we use on the platform, is to exclude the low V products. That helps in kind of making sense of the CAC that we're getting, the cost of acquisition that we're getting for our products. Secondly, not having the in-stock, not having the out-of-stock products in our catalog linked ads again. When we're creating videos and single images for our ads, that's a check that we do. That's a check that and Pulkit help us to do, is that if a product is out of stock, we pause the ad. But for retargeting ads, for catalog linked ads, it's important that you're not showing an ad to someone and someone clicks on the ad and they land on a product which is out of stock. So again, there are automations that we use for that, to not have any out of stock product there. Wherever any changes happen in the price of the product or the availability, as we talked about, ensure that's also reflected in your ads.
In your ads, yeah.
If you've gone on discounting and you're still showing higher price products, might not make sense. So that's something that the automations on catalog, they do allow that. In fact, what very, very key strategy that we look at in terms of catalog optimization, especially when the inventory count is huge, is, in fact, that's what we're doing here as well, is that exclude the products which have spent sufficiently but have not performed for you. We map the CRR, the revenue that we're getting on those products for each of these products, and if they've spent sufficiently, for the time being, we exclude them from the cataloging ads and let the other products perform and take the spends, because it's possible that a particular product is getting a lot of impressions, but it's not converting for some reason. So it might be a good idea to go back to your website and see if there's something missing on that product page. But for the time being, we do exclude, and that's an automation that allows us to do that on the platform, is that we exclude those products to ensure that our spends that are going towards our products, it's not inefficient. So yeah, I think these are a couple of things that absolutely are a must hygiene check in terms of the catalog when we're doing marketing for our inventory.
I think you have very well explained this point, and we don't have like any questions regarding this, and we can move to the next. And yes, Pulkit, अगर आप थोड़ा सा हमारे को बताना चाहें, how Adyogi helped Unniyarcha to scale your business?
Sorry, say that again.
I was saying कि अगर आप थोड़ा सा बताना चाहें, how Adyogi helped Unniyarcha to scale up your business?
Yeah, so it's been over 2020 is when we started. Adyogi has really helped us in understanding the business because we were new in the online game, and from day one they've been very supportive, and Prachi particularly has really helped in scaling from last year, from last 2 months, scaled exponentially, and yeah, they're very responsive in how to work with the creatives, and I think we are also okay with getting the creatives on time to Prachi.
Absolutely. In fact, I mean that's what I mentioned. I mean, that's something that I'm very
Yeah.
very happy with. The turnaround time is excellent. That's I couldn't have asked better for that.
So basically, we at our end don't know what's happening in the behind scene, and Prachi is or whoever is handling your account or our account needs to communicate and let us know. Okay, so this is not working because क्या है ना, when you design a product, it's true, and you think, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah,
But when you put it online, it somehow sometimes does not turn out to be amazing.
absolutely, yes. हमेशा
And
होता है.
it just might be the pricing or the
हाँ.
image or the creative we have created. For example, Prachi really pushed us in starting video ads, and they're doing really well right now. So right now, the first thing that we think is, oh, video कैसे बनाना है इसका,
Okay.
right? So that's the first thing in our mind.
हाँ.
Whereas maybe some time back we were not doing that at all.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, whoever is handling your digital ad spend needs to be very savvy in communication with you. That's what we are getting right now, and yeah, quite happy.
बहुत बढ़िया. इसी के साथ आई थिंक प्राची हम इसको स्क्रीन को स्टॉप शेयरिंग कर सकते हैं, और थोड़ा सा प्राची आप मेरे को इतने में ये बता दीजिए कि कैसे अगर किसी को एडयोगी से हेल्प चाहिए, या कैसे किसी को अगर अपने ब्रांड को और स्केल करना है, तो कैसे एडयोगी को हम कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं.
Easiest thing to do, just go to our website. You'll have an option of contact us, schedule a meeting with us, and our growth team will reach out to you, and we can take things from there.
देखो इतना सिंपल है एडयोगी को कांटेक्ट करना. सिर्फ वेबसाइट पे जाना है, कॉल बुक करनी है, और उसके बाद आपको भूल जाना है. आपका बिजनेस एक्चुअली में काफ़ी अच्छा स्केल हो जाएगा. और हमारे पास ऐसे न्यूमरस स्टोरीज हैं जो हम लाते रहते हैं. एंड इसी के साथ अगर आपके पास कोई Q&As हैं तो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में हमारे को बता सकते हैं. और इसी के साथ अगर आपको कोई भी टॉपिक और चाहिए तो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में हमारे को जरूर बताइए कि आपको कौन कौन से टॉपिक पे और वीडियो चाहिए. एंड तब तक के लिए थैंक यू सो मच पुलकित, थैंक यू सो मच प्राची फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस टुडे. आई थिंक आज का यार पॉडकास्ट बहुत अच्छा रहा. मिलते हैं. इस वीडियो को लाइक जरूर कर देना, सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर देना हमारे चैनल को, और कमेंट सेक्शन में बताया ना कि आपको और कैसे कैसे वीडियो चाहिए. थैंक यू सो मच. सी यू अगेन एंड कॉलिंग ऑफ फॉर द डे. बाय बाय.